I'm like, wait a minute, this could be a business. And I started like doing the math in my head. That was a big part of the aha moment. But then after that moment, the fear set in.
Today on The Market Makers, how Megan Molten built one of Charleston's most recognizable design brands. Megan is a designer, entrepreneur, and creative force behind her namesake interiors and retail shop. Megan's story is not just about aesthetics or success, it's really about being your authentic self. And if you really focus on what comes out of you naturally and creatively, you'll find what you're ultimately meant to do, and that really is the path that Megan has charted for herself.
And my friends were like, oh my gosh, Megan, like, you're really good at this.
No path is straightforward, no path is linear. Megan is a great example. She had a big-time corporate career for more than a decade, and through happenstance and opportunity and realizing some of her strengths that she hadn't recognized before, she and her husband effectively started a business without knowing they were starting a business by expressing themselves in their home, and through that ultimately found really her superpower, what she's great at. Megan has built a life and business that reflect exactly who she is. Thanks for being here with us today. I really hope you enjoy my conversation with Megan Molten as much as I have. I'm here with Megan Molten from Megan Molten Interiors and Shop, the Charleston, South Carolina area. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We're really here to share your personal journey of what's brought you to this place of great success and recognition.
Yep.
Before we get to some of that, because we were just chatting informally, I know my wife's here with me in the Vegas market, and Hugh, your husband, is here. Just share a little bit about how much fun it sounds like you guys are having. You've been doing a lot of stuff these last few days.
Yep. So when my husband joined the business after our second baby, and I'm literally like in the hospital bed holding my newborn on my laptop, like just working away. And it was that moment that my husband said, it's time. Like, I got to come in and do this. So he had a real estate company. He continues to work in real estate on the side, but came in and took over our operations like that day. And we made a couple pacts at that time. And first was, he said, a non-negotiable is if I'm going to do this, if we're going to work together, we're going to go talk to somebody. So we had our life coach, and it really helped us understand each other and just like our lanes in this business. But the other pact we made is that we do a lot of travel for our business, and we decided that we always want to travel together. Like, this is his first time in Vegas. He's having a ball, and it's just so much fun getting to experience this together, both personally and professionally. Like, it's hands down the best decision we ever made. And so many of my friends will say, like, I cannot believe, like, how do y'all work together? How do y'all do that? I'm like, well, his office is across the parking lot from mine. So it's not like we're like on top of each other all day. And he does the things that I don't want to do, you know, all the accounting stuff and HR. Like,
so the operations, the back end.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm not good at that. And so that's another one of my big key points of success in this business is, like, I call it your superpower. And so that's for me. I know what I'm good at, and that's what I do. That's what I want to do. And if there's something else, there's probably someone better that can do it way better than me.
Where do you think that philosophy originated, the superpower, and the notion of, you know, find what it is you're really good at and really stay there? I mean, where does that come from?
So that came from my dad. My dad is also an entrepreneur. He's now retired. He had a successful ophthalmology practice, and he had several offices across the state in Arkansas where I grew up. And so he was a very good businessman and also a really good surgeon. But that was when I started my business back in 2018. That was my dad's like main key point that he kept telling me is, Megan, you do what you are so good at and let other people do everything else. If I can give you one lesson in business and life, like, that's it. And I just really took that to heart.
Sounds like he had a huge impact on you.
He did. And my mom was an entrepreneur as well. She had retail businesses. So growing up in Arkansas was wonderful. I had an amazing school that I went to and friends, but I knew that I wanted to go somewhere else. That was very evident to me. And so when I graduated, from high school, I went to school at Ole Miss.
Right.
I fell in love with Oxford and just had an amazing experience there. And when I graduated, my sister and I did a little weekend trip to Charleston. And I said, this is where I belong. This, hands down, is where I'm meant to be. So I moved there a couple weeks later, and I got a job in pharmaceutical sales.
Saw that.
Yep, and that's what my sister was doing. It was a great job right out of college, great benefits. I got to travel. It was a really amazing career, and I honestly thought that that's what I was just gonna do forever. I was growing my way up into a management role, and it allowed me to purchase my first home on my own. And I did that, and I started designing it myself. And I started just posting it on social media for fun. And my friends were like, oh my gosh, Megan, like, you're really good at this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I just kept posting things. And then my friends were kind of at a time where they were purchasing their first homes. So I started helping them, and I would post the before and afters. Probably a few months later, I got like my first client, like real client, someone I didn't know that wanted to hire me. And so I didn't even know what to charge, like I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it and I figured it out. So all this is happening while I'm still in my other career. And about 6 months goes by, and it's like I had this like aha moment.
Right.
And it was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to do.
You sort of organically, naturally, you buy a house and you start to design it. That's what
Yep.
you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do that, and it's a time where social media, you're posting it, and then people are reacting in a very unexpected way, it
Yes.
sounds like. Maybe share a little bit about that moment. Like, when you introspect and think about that moment, why did your brain stop and say, whoa, wait a second, something's happening? What
Yes.
was going on right then?
Yeah, I think I realized, honestly, once I started listening to Luann Nagara, A Well-Designed Business, who I love. I love her so much. She's like a mentor of mine. I started listening to that podcast, and I started understanding the business behind design. It's not just decorating my home, making it pretty, and posting photos. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
You can charge a lot of money for this.
Right.
This could be a business. And I started like doing the math in my head. I'm like, wait a second. I could make this a career. And so that was a big part of the aha moment. But then after that moment was the fear set in.
Speak to that.
Okay.
What was the fear?
So when I realized, it was immediate, like, okay, what are the next steps? I guess I'd have to quit my job and like really go for this. And
From the security of a paycheck to
like, all
uncertainty.
the benefits, the paycheck, like, and I remember calling my dad, and I'm like in tears.
Oh.
And I'm like, I really want to do this, but I'm terrified. Like, what am I going to do? Like, if this doesn't work? And my dad was like, Megan, the worst thing that can happen is you will just get another job. You'll be fine.
Right.
You'll be fine. I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, I have 12 years experience in the workforce. Yeah, I could go get another job. Like, okay. And so I did it. I called HR, and literally crying on the phone. I'd been with this company for 7 years. I loved it. I loved the people. And I said, I'm putting in my notice. And she was like, what? Like, you can't, no. Like, and it was like, no, it's time. I'm going to do this. And they were wonderful, like had this whole send off for me and like really supported me. And all my friends were rooting for me, my family. And so I made it official. I was like, I'm going to quit my job. My last day will be December 31st. And
so
my
this
first
isn't like I'm going to
day-
the gym Jan 1. This
Yep.
is like I'm changing my life.
Exactly.
Wow. So often in life we're fearful of things, and that's totally normal and healthy. It's
Yes.
almost it's an animalistic like instinct. It's
Yes.
it's survival. But the key to dealing with fear, as what your dad did for you, I think, and kind of digesting it back, is he broke it down into its parts and said, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
You're not going to get injured in a terrible way.
Yep.
The worst thing that happens is you get another job.
Yes.
Like, it just totally removes the sting and like the thing that was going to prevent you.
Yes. My dad was the one that put things in perspective for me. And that's something I speak to a lot. I have a lot of wonderful young women that approach me all the time. I try to tell them that, like, put things in perspective and that you will be okay. You will figure it out. Like, if you want this bad enough, you will figure it out.
Right. We all face many points in life where we plan, we prepare, we think we're ready, and in the end, we either choose to jump in or we don't. The best way to jump in is to set a date that says now is the moment we have to go. Fear can be an amazing motivator. It can be a paralyzer. It can be an empowerer. It's the most primitive of all emotions. We either flee or we fight, and we all feel it. And in the end, we make that choice. We either hold back or we put that date on the calendar like Megan did, and we jump and we go. New Year's Eve comes, and whatever day of the week it is, the first, you're open for business, so to speak.
That's right.
Tell us where your head is at that point and what that was like.
Oh my goodness. So I start my business officially, make it Instagram official. I made my website. It was terrible, but I have a website. I'm listening to my podcast every day. I'm learning the business of design. Wow, I have clients. I have a lot of clients. And it was January. I mean, it was the month of January. And one of my dear friends came over to my house with her 3-month-old baby. She's about to go back to work in her corporate job. And she says, Megan, you're going to hire me. I'm like, Ellie, I can't hire you. Like, what? How am I going to pay you? And she's like, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out because you need help. And I'm going to help you. And I don't want to go back to my job. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I do need you. And again, I'm like calling my dad, like, okay, I think I'm about to hire my first employee. Like, am I making a huge mistake? And he's like, no, absolutely. This is going to be the best decision you ever made. So February, my friend starts with me. She does all by inquiries, project management, orders, tracking, damages, all the behind the scenes kind of stuff that has to get done. She was handling that. Then comes, fast forward a couple months, we start getting projects that are like renovations, new builds. I start getting plans, CAD files. I don't do CAD. I don't even know how to read plans. Ellie's like, Megan, I think we need like a designer, like a trained designer that knows how to do CAD. Like, Ellie, how are we going to hire a designer? She's like, we can do it. So I have this friend supporting me. We start interviewing girls, new grads. We got a very talented new grad right out of High Point University with an interior design degree.
Shout out to High Point, by the way.
Yes.
Right there. Yeah.
Amazing. And I told her, look, you're our first hire. Don't really know what we're doing yet. But if you're willing to come on our team and figure it out with us.
So you're not exactly giving her the hard sell.
No,
What I love about your perspective is you're so authentic and like true. It's like, we don't know what we're doing, but you should join us.
Yeah, come on. It'll be fun. And thank God she did. She was with me for 5 years and she started her own business. Good for her. But she was incredible. She was exactly what we needed at that time. And so we're at my dining room table in my little tiny 1-bedroom Freedman's Cottage in downtown Charleston. And then we needed more help. We needed another designer. And we couldn't all fit in this little space. So we got an office.
And where are we now, Ty? So Jan 118, where are we? 19-ish? Like just ballpark.
No, I
is
think
it
it
the
was
first year?
still 2018.
Wow. So a lot was happening in 2018.
A lot was
You're
happening.
going through the classic growing pains of a business that
Yes.
has more demand than it knows what to do with. The challenge was growing the business and figuring out at what moments to bring on somebody and to have other infrastructure, office, another person, et cetera. Those are your
Yes.
biggest challenges.
Yes. And so I met my husband in March of 2018. That's another thing.
Wow, 3 months? That's a big year. 2018 was a big year.
That's another thing. You know, I was in my 30s. All my friends are married. They're starting to have babies. I feel like once you figure out your place in life, when you're doing what you're meant to be doing and you're happy and you're thriving, it's like things just start falling into place. And so he was instrumental at that time because he saw us all working around my dining room table. We're crammed in there.
So he's like, wait a second, there's not a seat for me.
Yeah.
Where's my seat?
And so he found us, because he was in real estate, he found us this little office, and it had just a little tiny conference room, and then it had a big storage room in the back. And he's like, Megan, I found the perfect space for y'all. It's perfect. And I went and looked at it, and I'm like, this isn't exactly like what I had in mind. Like, I was expecting some beautiful, space. And this wasn't really that. But he's like, no, trust me. You're going to need this space back here. So in May of 2018, we launched our shop online. And we had mostly accessories, artwork, rugs, pillows, lamps, smaller items. And people were buying them. We again, didn't know what we were doing, made a Shopify site, put our favorite stuff on there that I had in my storage unit, and people started buying it. So Ellie would run to the UPS store, box it up, ship it out. We were clueless.
Within 6 months, you started a business, you meet your future husband, you have an office space, you have your design business has more demand than you can accommodate. Yes. And you have now a shop.
Yes.
All within 6 months.
All within 6 months. We launched our e-commerce shop. People start ordering stuff. Again, Ellie's like, Megan, what are we going to do? I'm running the UPS store every day, shipping this stuff out. We don't know what we're doing. I'm like, I know. I think we need a shop person, a shop manager, shop sales, something. Every single time we did something, I took a risk. I mean, I took a huge risk with the shop and hiring this e-commerce manager. But I believed in the shop. I knew we could do it. And I knew if I had someone who was way better at it than me, that we could be successful. And so she came on in June, and that's when my husband found this space. I said, I don't get it. But he's like, no, trust me. You can put all your shop stuff in back in this warehouse. Y'all can ship it out of there. It makes so much sense. It's cheap. And so I'm like, all right, let's do it. So we painted everything pink, made it as cute as we possibly could. My husband went to Lowe's and just got these racks and put all of our shop accessories on these racks. And we had a little shipping station. He set up a computer, and we printed our labels and shipped stuff out. And probably in the fall of 2018, locals started messaging us on Instagram, hey, I love that vase, or I love that bowl or that piece of art, but I'd really love to see it in person. Can I just come by? And so we're like, sure, yeah, come by. Well, before we knew it, people are coming by all the time. And we're trying to work on design projects, but we have all these people coming by wanting to look at stuff. So again, it clicks. It's like, wait, we have an online shop. We don't have a brick and mortar shop. I need stocking dealer accounts with all these vendors because my design business is growing, but they want me to have a brick and mortar store to do that. Wait, so let's have a brick and mortar store.
You, in that moment, just made that decision to become omni-channel from having been pure e-commerce at that point. Yes. And again, somehow you were striking a nerve with people. Your designs and your selections in terms of merchandising was speaking to lots of people.
Yes, and that's a good point that I forgot to mention. When I started designing my home, I had this design style, this aesthetic that was just naturally, I was just doing what I loved.
Right.
And it's this kind of light, bright, modern, coastal, airy style. I mean, it's very Charleston. And, at that time, that's when Serena and Lily really started blowing up. Right. And that style was really popular. But what clicked with that is that I realized how many people loved it and how important it was that I had a very clear, distinct design style and brand with my business.
Right.
So we really honed in on that, and we still do.
Well, and let's shift to that because it is distinct. And what I'm starting to appreciate the more I get to know great designers is it all starts with a true to yourself authenticity, because if it's not, I think it won't consistently speak to people.
I mean, that is the key word. It's being your true authentic self in everything that you do. And so that's always like a piece of advice I give someone who wants to start a design business. It's like, really figure out your aesthetic, your niche, right? And just hone in on that. You know, like I literally eat, sleep, breathe it in every single thing I do and how I dress, everything. Like it's just me.
It's just you expressing yourself.
Yeah.
The words you used so perfectly describe it, and use the words of like make you feel like you're floating.
Yes.
And airy and like fresh, crisp breath of air.
Yes.
I just love those words because they're not physical, yet they give you a physical sense. Of the soft colors you use and a lot of white and a lot of light give that sense.
And that's why our clients now come to us. You know, they see this work, they like the way it makes them feel, they want that feeling. But even with that, we have to click, as I call it.
Sure, right?
It is such a relationship. You know, and it's taken me a long time to figure that out. The relationship portion of this whole thing is like 80% of it. And then the pretty design stuff is like 20%.
Megan's design process becomes the backbone of it all, how she listens, collaborates, and brings each client's story to life. I learned from my grandfather a long time ago that if my gums are moving, I'm not learning. And what he was really saying was listening and learning are synonymous. One of Megan's amazing powers is active listening. Megan is able to ultimately be a better partner to her customers, to her clients. She can collaborate and engage with them in a way that is uniquely meaningful.
So when we get an inquiry form, my design assistant, you know, interacts with them, usually through a phone call or email, series of emails, really trying to understand their project, and just from what, you know, she knows about the client, the project and location and what they're looking for, if we might be a good fit. And I can tell within 5 minutes if this is a good fit or not. These projects are 18 months to 2 years that we're with these people.
Right.
And so we become like friends, you know, like family. And most of my clients, like, I'd want to hang out with them. I'd want to, you know, go to dinner with them. Like, it has to be that kind of relationship. And if that's not there, it's just not going to work.
What I'm so appreciating about the world you've created is back to authentic. You know, it's like manifest destiny. Because you're connecting with your clients in a certain way, you're getting to not handpick your clients, but in a sense. So you're creating a world that fits with you. And again, back to that's like authenticity to off the charts.
It really is. And I feel very fortunate that I'm at a place to be able to do that. It took me a long time.
I think we all hope someday to earn the position where we can be highly selective of who our clients and who our customers are. And that's exactly where Megan has taken herself. And because she has done so, she has the ability to create better outcomes, because ultimately the people she's selecting, they're self-selected. They're people she feels an energy with, she feels a connection with. And because of the synergy and sort of mutual understanding, she's able to achieve great outcomes for these people.
You have to put in the work to get there. But I really had an aha moment with a client this year. I literally got my dream job, and they are dream clients. It really put everything into perspective for me and made me realize, like, this is what I've worked so hard for, and this is what I want to do.
So can you share what that dream job is that you just told us about?
So it's actually a home renovation in the Bahamas. The home is, every single detail of it is so special and so unique. And they are just a dream to work with. He is a very successful business owner. He has a family business that's been in his family for 100 years. And he just gets it. He gets the value that we bring to the table. And we're working very closely with his architect, with his builders, and it's just on this like next level. It's a next level project, unlike any project I've ever done before. And it's a dream. It's truly a dream. And it just was like, this is what I want to do. This.
So looking ahead then, right, taking that dream job because of the relationship, because of how you're valued.
Yes.
What does that mean for your business going ahead? Like, how does it change how you think about your future clients?
Well, now that I've had this amazing clients and project, it changes my perspective. So now when I speak to new potential projects or clients, it's now easier for me to say no.
I see.
Because I get it. Like, this is what I worked for. This is what I want. And it's almost like Lori Prangipe is a designer who I adore. And she said, you know, when I talk to clients now, it's almost like I'm talking them out of working with me. Right?
Interesting.
She's like, I'm telling them all the bad stuff. What is the saying? Like, under promise and over deliver, right? It's like, get all that stuff out there in the open. She's like, I'm telling them all the bad stuff, the stuff that can go wrong.
We're just getting out of the way on the front end.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm expensive. Yeah, this costs a lot of money. Yes, you're going to go over your budget. Yes, this is going to take longer than you want. All the things. And I just love how she does it. It's so authentic. But you know what? She's like, I'm doing the projects that I want to do.
Right. I love that, there's this Maslow's need hierarchy. Like at the very bottom is, you need food and air to live. And, you can only get to the next level if the first level's satisfied. And the highest level on the pyramid is self-actualization. And the very top is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Where you're at a place now where you have these other pieces that now give you it doesn't mean you get there, it just means you have the chance to get there.
Yes.
But now through this one project,
yes,
it's made you have a different awareness of what it is that you really, really, really want to become really.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. Something I found I really appreciated in looking at your background a little bit. I usually like to land on a future looking perspective like that, but the Mod Pod and you, and there's a part of it I made up a name for it. So this is mine, not, necessarily yours, but it's like Hugh's Trinkets.
Oh my gosh.
So could tell folks what the Mod Pod refers to, how it differs from your normal design, not approach, but manifestation, and what are Hugh's Trinkets?
So funny that we're talking about this. Hugh's going to love this. So the Mod Pod, Hugh and I bought our first home together right when we got married. We got married in May. We bought our home in June. The home went on the market. We were looking for this very particular style home. We wanted a more modern home. We knew that. But it doesn't really exist in the area where we live in Charleston. So this home goes on the market that morning. We literally that afternoon put in a full price offer. Like, we knew this was our house. We knew. It was an 80s, very angular house that had not been touched. I mean, popcorn ceilings, blue bathroom, carpet, you name it. Like, not touched by the lady since she bought it. Perfect. And I remember posting the video, like, we bought a house, the Mod Pod coming soon. And all my friends were kind of like, we don't get it. Like, what is this house? Like, because it was so ugly. It was bad. No one saw the potential but Hugh and I.
Right.
We saw
That's
it.
perfect.
We had a vision. And we renovated it together. We did all the work ourselves. We hired all the subs ourselves. And we created the Mod Pod. And it's very much a combination of Hugh's style and my style.
Because it's not just your style, it is a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I love the white, bright, airy, coastal modern. Hugh likes collected. He likes very primary colors like red, blue, green, orange, very primary. He loves collecting things. Like you said, his trinkets. It gives me a lot of anxiety. Like, I don't like a lot of stuff or clutter, and he like couldn't have enough, you know.
The trinkets speak to, I mean, when you would travel, bring something back.
Which now
Yeah.
I really do like appreciate. You know, every time we go somewhere, we do end up at an antique store and pick something up really
We
cool.
do a lot of that, my wife
Yeah,
and I too.
it's honestly like had to grow on me. Like we've kind of created our own home style together, and it's very unique. And everyone says like your home is so not what I would expect.
Right.
Honestly, I've had a lot of design clients come to me and say that's my favorite project you've ever done. I love it so much.
I love the aspect about the relationship aspect of it. That's my takeaway. Maybe it sounds corny, but I like that about it. It takes the physical and makes it something more, and it's just something neat. And again, his trinkets, that nostalgic thing, but also, you know, it'd be so easy for you as a designer to just say, I'm the designer, I'm the expert, we're doing it this way. And instead, you know, to commit to the relationship where you're doing this 50-50.
Yeah, it's 50-50, and it's very cool.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Megan Molten, I'm so grateful to have the time with you. I really, the time has just passed. I really enjoyed it. I love your perspective. I love your design work. And I love your stories about how you became who you are. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun chatting.
Megan followed her instincts. That's really the story here. She trusted what felt right and built something remarkable because of it. Even when the path isn't clear, you have to trust your gut. Surround yourself with people who see what you see, who believe because you do. Because building something beautiful, a home, a business, a life, always starts with one bold decision: to begin. Megan's still building. She's still evolving. Her spaces, her business, and her purpose continue to grow, reflecting who she is today and who she's becoming along the way. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Market Makers. I'm Jon Pertchik. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, follow along and join us each week for more stories of transformation from the people shaping how we live, work, and gather. Because behind every beautiful space, every thriving business, there's someone brave enough to begin the process.